Now, there are some people who may have heard of Juneteenth, but they don't really know what it is, or they've never heard of it. But either way, if you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach you. So as we all know, there was a time in this nation's history where having too much melanin in your skin just meant that you were enslaved. And it stayed that way for a while, a hot minute, hundreds of years in fact, until January 1st, 1863, where Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which would free all enslaved people in the southern states. Now, do you think that these people who have benefited and became rich off of this free labor were just about to let their free labor go like that without a fight? Absolutely not. So you got to remember, many of the enslaved people at that time could not read, and they relied on that information being read to them. So many of the slave owners just didn't tell them that they were free. And they were able to do this by going out to Texas, where there wasn't a very large Union troop presence to enforce emancipation. So they just kept them as slaves and didn't tell them they were free. So let's fast forward to June of 1865, 2.5 years later. This is Gordon Granger. He and his Union troops finally reach Galveston, Texas. And Gordon Granger rallies up the local enslaved population and finally informs them that not only are they free, but they've been freed for over 2 years at this point. Yes, these enslaved people had been freed for over 2.5 years, but they just were not told. So, of course, it was a celebration, and the local African-American population in Galveston started celebrating Juneteenth or Jubilee Day as soon as the next year, 1866. And this picture is actually a depiction of one of those earlier celebrations. And then as time went on, the Jubilee or Juneteenth tradition moved to different states. And finally, in 2021, I think, it became a federal holiday. So June 19th comes around. Just remember that you are celebrating the emancipation or independence of American people. So, in my opinion, it's just as important as July 4th. But until next time, goodbye.